First of all, we hear that something was promised Dangote. In the oil and gas sector, we don't work on promises. You work with contracts. Does Dangote have any contracts with anybody for that product? If he does have a contract, and if they failed to meet their contractual obligations, Dangote can head to court. I suspect that there might not be any contract. Number two, we have several refineries in Nigeria. Dangote's refinery happens to now be the largest, but outside of Dangote refinery, you have the government-owned refineries, and you have smaller refineries like Walter Smith and what have you. What NUPRC has said is that they've given several allocations to these people. But we forget one thing. The last administration entered into a lot of loan agreements. And in entering those loan agreements, they forward sold our oil, or they used our oil that we are producing right now as a guarantee. What this essentially means is that the quantum of oil most people expect that Nigeria has to meet her domestic requirements for our domestic refineries is not as should be. So we don't want to speak to that. We don't want to understand that we're actually in a mess where that is concerned. And we want to speak to issues that, as far as I'm concerned, are really non-issues. Dangote's refinery, Dangote can get oil from any part of the world as long as he has money to pay for the oil. The same as Walter Smith, the same as any other refinery in Nigeria. And again, we know you guys report this all the time. Every year, NNPC gives out contracts to several marketers or refineries from all over the world, promising them crude, and they pay upfront for that crude. So where they are expected to get crude oil out of season beats me. But what I understand is happening is that they've gone outside of this to say, we have some crude oil, and we're giving this to Dangote, to Port Harcourt refinery that I understand is coming on stream, they're testing right now, to Warri, to Walter Smith, and to the other refineries. So I don't think there's anybody out to sabotage Dangote refinery. Let me tell you my personal take on this. Dangote has operated in a space for the longest time in the food sector where he's akin to being a monopoly. He's operated in the cement sector where he's probably a part of a duopoly. This is the first time Dangote is entering waters where you have mega players, probably bigger than his company is. And he cannot understand that Dangote, the superstar in food production or in cement production, is not a superstar in oil and gas, where you have the likes of Shell, Chevron, Mobil, and the rest. So I think that that's one of the issues that is at play here.